I'm at a bit of a crossroads in my business right now, and it's leaving me with the reminder that the most challenging part about entrepreneurship is just the uncertainty and how there's never necessarily a perfect decision. For a little bit of context, my name's Jack. I'm a 19-year-old entrepreneur. I own a hockey media business. We went from nothing to $11,000 per month by November of this past year, and I've maintained since then. I've kind of just been right around that like 9 to 11 range between December and January. And it's maintenance by choice. I could absolutely just crank up my ad spend and double that, but I've talked tons about the issues I've run into with just like I don't have enough capacity necessarily to service people. So that's the issue. And it sounds stupid, right? It sounds like, oh, like that's your problem then, right? Duh. But this little part of me, this little marketing minded in the back of my head is like free like for some reason this has been such a hard decision because where I'm at right now, I have like the two choices. Like, okay, I can market more. That's gonna be really pushing it. That's not a good idea. Or I can work on building like the infrastructure to scale. The thing that's been like challenged just for like just the way my brain works for whatever reason, it's been challenging for me to slow the gas on marketing and like build out systems in my business because it's like, what am I doing? I'm only making 5 figures a month. Like, do I really need super intense systems? Like, you hear about people all the time just scaling to like 100K per month with no organizational structure, whatever. But on the other hand, it's like I've consumed so much, not so much, but like I've went super deep on certain entrepreneurs' content, and I think I understand what mistakes that they've made and like what things I can kind of prevent by that's a bad way to say it. But like it's a smarter way to build the infrastructure first. But for some reason my brain's not like that. It's like I'm sitting here building these systems like, okay, how are we gonna follow up with people before their bookings and after? It's like just not boring work. Like it's exciting work, but I almost feel guilty. Like this sounds weird, right? It almost feels guilty for me to do this. It's like, why am I not on the phone calling leads? Because I don't know. I don't know why this is so hard for me. And I talked about this in one of my other videos, like probably a couple videos recently, but like these are the two things I'm struggling with right now. And it's just there's not a perfect decision because I can spend all this time building out the infrastructure, but then like what if I build this infrastructure, get a bunch of different videographers that like want to work with me, but they don't have any work to give them. But on the other hand, like what if I market even more and I get so overbooked and so overwhelmed that first we can't handle everyone, then the customer experience of the current people we have goes down. And it's like when I say it out loud, when I'm saying it, this is kind of part of the reason I record these videos. This is like literally exactly like one of my old videos where I would just get on the camera and talk with no real purpose. But when I say it out loud, it sounds so stupid, right? Because this one sounds a lot worse than the other one. But for some reason, like my brain just feels wrong, like working on systems in my business when it feels like I have such a small business where I shouldn't have to do this. But I have experienced like supply constraint where like I couldn't service any more of the demand I was getting, and I just talked about in this past video how like I can consistently get demand like easily, but I'm still marketing. I'm still and obviously like you don't want to just shut off marketing 100%. Like bare minimum, we're going to continue to post content and send email newsletters and stuff like that. But like yesterday, I'm like following up with leads. I'm like, hey, like, so, and I think another reason, another part of this that's kind of making it hard for me is like it's such a perfect time to sell. It is a perfect time to sell because it's the end of hockey season, so like everyone's like going into playoffs, or like maybe if they're not going into playoffs, they just like want a video to like document their season, or recruiting videos to send to school. It's like a perfect time to sell, but I'm not in the place of my business where I should be doing that. I'm in the place of my business where I should be building the infrastructure to sell 10 times more next year or throughout the spring, etc. I mean, hockey season doesn't really end, but like this is where I'm at. It's a great buying window. So part of me is like, fuck it. Like, why am I building systems? I could just market like crazy right now and make so much money. But it's like, what are the consequences of that? Because I don't have the systems in place for that to be sustainable. And yeah, that's why it's tough. And like, I've walked through this so many times. Like, this has clearly been the theme of my past couple videos, where it's just like a struggle. Because like, I don't know, I'm looking at the negatives on both sides. And it seems like if I continue to market, that's a lot more negative. But like, the inner part of me just wants bigger numbers. And I think it's like a natural thing. It's like, oh, I want to see $30,000. But dude, fuck building systems. Let's run up the profit statement. But it's like, that's not really how it's gonna work. And you know, I'm a big fan of like the theory of constraints, where like a system's gonna grow until it's bottlenecked. And clearly the bottleneck I've ran into twice is I don't have the systems or the people in place to fulfill the demand that I can create. But like, once you know you have the skill of generating demand and like can just get new customers at the push of a button or the dial of a phone, it's fun. It's fun. It seems fun, and you're like, oh my god, we got a full pipeline, all these and I have a full pipeline just sitting there right now that I'm just not really working because, but that's what's keeping me stuck. It's like, I feel like it's like some days I'm like, I just want to market, and then other days it's like, okay, like you gotta slow down and get ready so you can market 100 times to the next level. And that's definitely what I have to do. I know it's this option, the option where I have to, you know, build out the systems, find the right people, so everything is kind of set in place. But the other part of me, is like progress, not perfection. So the two things I'm like stuck between are like, nail it before you scale it, which is like, you know, get all the right systems in place and then crank the gas, which is 100% a more sustainable, smarter way of doing business. But it takes longer, and like, I just want like more. Pardon me, it sounds so stupid, but I just want more money in my bank account like right now. So like, just give it to me now. I don't want to build all these dumbass systems, like run it up. But that's probably not smart. But for whatever, like, and I know that, like, my conscious mind knows that, but for whatever reason, when I'm working on these things, instead of following up with leads, sending emails, etc., it feels guilty for whatever reason. Because it almost feels like I'm not working on, I don't know, it doesn't make sense. This is literally, like, one of my last year videos where I'm just like, oh my god, like, well, it's just complete rant. But it's definitely something I'm struggling with. And I'm moving slower because I can't, not that I can't decide, like, I know what I need to do, but for some reason there's just a mental barrier every time I work on this stuff. It's like, yo, go market instead. You don't need to build these systems. It's like the little devil in my head. I don't know why this is so hard for me. Like, I'm doing it, I'm slowly doing it, but I could be doing it way faster if I just completely shut down the marketing, which is like, okay, you need to focus on this so you can market ever again. But it's like, I also kind of need to like sustain a certain level of marketing so we maintain our numbers. But is that just an ego thing? Like, maybe I take a hit and we do $5,000 for 1 month, but we build out systems so the next month we do 50. It's like a war inside my brain. It's like, what is going on here? And for some reason, I've just been struggling with this so bad. That's all I got. I think talking through this is like my freaking virtual therapy session, just talking to the camera. You guys just get to see it. I don't think anyone even watches these kinds of videos anyway, where I just ramble on. So leave a comment down below if you watch this full 9 minutes. This is tough. It's tough. But here we go. Let me create some SOPs while every bone in my body just wants to be like, hey, this is Jack from Puck. Yeah, I saw you fill out a form a little while back. And sale. Like, that's fun. But this is what's necessary. So I don't know why I feel guilty around it. I feel guilty, I think, because, like, it feels like I'm moving slower. But then that idea of, like, moving is based off of numbers. Like, in that case where I'm like, okay, working on this stuff feels like I'm moving slower. But that's just because, like, the revenue is not going up. So, like, I'm moving faster in other ways. I'm building an infrastructure that can make me move 10 times faster in the future. All right, I'm just explaining to myself, like, why I need to do this, and I'm just working out live. Not live. I should do YouTube lives. I actually found this guy. I don't remember his username, but he just goes live like a couple nights a week, and it's like, my business makes $75,000 a month. Ask me questions, and it's cool. Like, I've joined. It's like engaging lives. He's a pretty smart dude, interesting, and it's also great to like see. This is a side tangent, but like see people who are like ahead of you, but not like tons of steps. Like, it's kind of rare. So I kind of like listening to those kinds of people because it's like a short glimpse into my future. Like, it's not like he's making $1 million a month, but like 75,000 a month, 7 times more what I'm doing. So, all right, that's it. I just, this whole video is me explaining why I need to, build the systems and prepare that way. But I don't know. That's it.